Have you ever felt like something inside you doesn't fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth your mind can't yet name? It's not madness, it's not anxiety, it's not an existential crisis. It's a sign. And what is happening now on the spiritual plane explains exactly why you feel this way, and why this feeling has intensified precisely now, in this time when Michael is descending with a specific mission upon the chosen ones who were marked even before the foundation of the world. There is a battle being fought on invisible layers that most of humanity will never see. A battle that involves your spiritual inheritance, the authority that was sealed within you since before your birth, and the role of lawyer that God prepared for you to exercise in this end time. There is a truth that needs to be spoken above all else. Michael is not a decorative figure, nor a symbolic character from religious tales. He is the commander-in-chief of the celestial armies, the great prince who stands up for the children of your people, and at this very moment, as you read these words, he is loosening the ties that have been holding back your inheritance for generations. Think for a moment. Why, even with all your faith, even praying, even doing what is right, have you felt this heavy oppression upon your life? Why this insistent feeling that something is trying to silence your voice, steal what is yours by right, muzzle the lawyer that God placed within your chest? Because the enemy knows. He knows who you are. He knows you have been marked. And he knows that if you awaken to the authority of lawyer that Michael is now delivering, everything he has built against your family in recent decades will crumble in seconds. And what if I told you that the feeling you have of always defending someone, always being the pillar, always interceding for relatives, children, parents, spouse, siblings, is not a coincidence? That this burden of spiritual advocacy weighing on your shoulders is precisely proof that Michael has already recognized you as one of his own. You are not an observer of this story. You are a central piece of it. And what is happening now is the official activation of your calling as your lineage's advocate before the heavenly court. That is why I have prepared this powerful digital book for you, the manual for those chosen by God to protect the family. This digital book is not just reading material. It is the map that reveals how Michael operates the inheritance and the authority of lawyer over your family. What are the spiritual rules they never told you about territorial defense, about sealing children, about invoking Michael's sword against the forces trying to steal what is yours by divine right? This digital book was written for those who have already awakened enough to know that the battle for the family is much deeper than any human counsel, and who are ready to finally assume the position of spiritual lawyer that God prepared since before the foundation of the world. The link is pinned in the first comment at the top, but I must warn you, chosen one, this type of content rarely remains available for long. What is in these pages challenges narratives that many are interested in keeping silent, and there have already been concrete attempts to erase this knowledge before. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, because you didn't arrive at this video by accident. Download now and comment below. I am chosen and I will download the digital book. This comment publicly seals your commitment to Michael himself. Now that you have decided to act, the next truth I will reveal to you will be the final blow against this oppression that has tried to silence you for so long. Pay attention, because this changes everything. There is something most believers have never understood about Michael. Most see him only as a warrior, the angel who wields the sword, who fights the dragon, who casts out demons. But Michael has a second face that modern religion has forgotten, and it is precisely this face that he is now manifesting over the chosen ones, the face of the advocate. In the book of Daniel, chapter 10, Michael doesn't just appear as a soldier. He appears as one who intercedes, one who advocates, one who stands up in the court of the Most High on behalf of the chosen people when the principalities of this world try to block the blessings, the answers to prayer, the inheritance, and the help that has already been decreed in heaven. Michael doesn't just come to fight, he comes to execute judgments, and that is what he is doing for you now. Have you ever wondered why your prayers seem to take so long to be answered? Why projects stall just as they are about to bear fruit? Why your family always seems to be one step behind the blessing, even when you are doing everything you need to do? It is not a lack of faith, it is not a lack of merit. It is that there is a spiritual blockage, an accusation being brought in the invisible plane against your lineage. and that accusation needs to be overthrown by an advocate. And Michael is that advocate, but he operates in partnership with you. He executes when you activate. He stands up when you decree. He brings the inheritance when you claim it. And this is where most fail, because no one has taught the chosen ones how to put themselves in the position of advocate for their own family. No one has explained that there is a spiritual protocol, an order of invocation, words that open doors in the court of the Most High, and words that close doors to the enemy. Michael is waiting. Your inheritance is being held back, and the only thing missing is you fully awakening to the authority God has delegated to you. And it is precisely this authority that the digital book Manual of God's Chosen Ones to Protect the Family was made to activate in you. It is not motivation. It is not spiritualized self-help. It is a practical manual of the advocacy protocol that Michael operates with the chosen ones. The exact words of decree, the seals of protection over the children, over the spouse, over elderly parents, and over the material inheritance they tried to steal from your lineage. This digital book shows step by step what to do when you realize there is an accusation being brought against your household. It reveals how to recognize the prosecuting attorneys, the forces that operate to block your inheritance, and how to present them before Michael's sword so that they are definitively expelled from your history. The link is in the first comment, pinned to the top. But be warned, this knowledge bothers many people. It challenges structures that prefer to keep God's children as spectators rather than advocates. They have tried to silence this information before, and that is why this digital book may be taken down at any moment. Download now and write below, "I am chosen and I will download the digital book." This act of faith is the first decree you make publicly claiming your position as advocate for your own family. Now that you have made a commitment, chosen one, listen carefully, because what I'm about to reveal to you is one of the deepest layers of this transition, and it will explain why Michael is acting with such intensity upon your family. Notice what has been happening to you in recent weeks. Intense dreams, often with swords, with light, with figures dressed in white, and with battles. Moments of wakefulness. You wake up between 3 and 4 in the morning for no apparent reason, with a sense of spiritual urgency in your chest. A feeling of being watched, but this time it's not fear, it's a protective presence. These are all signs that Michael is setting up your defense perimeter around you. He is calling you to the front line of your own destiny. And he will not call twice. There is something called sealed inheritance. Beyond the material inheritances we already know, houses, land, money, there is another dimension that most don't even know exists: spiritual inheritance. It is a package of authority, of gifts, of protection, of prosperity, and of identity that was decreed upon your lineage even before the foundation of the world. And the enemy, knowing this, has been working for generations to seal this inheritance, to put locks on it, to divert rivers of blessing, to prevent the rightful heirs from taking possession. This is why many families live entire generations repeating the same patterns: serial divorces, constant bankruptcies, strange hereditary diseases, children lost to addiction, chronic difficulty in prospering, houses where peace never enters, no matter how much they are cleaned and prayed over. It is not a divine curse. God does not curse the lineage of the righteous. It is an inheritance withheld by spiritual accusers operating behind the scenes of your family's history. And Archangel Michael is the only created being with the authority to break the seals of these inheritances and return them to the rightful heirs. He is the executor of the heavenly court. When God decrees the return, Michael descends with the sword and cuts the ties. But, and here's the point almost no one understands, he needs a representative on earth. He needs a human lawyer who will stand up for the household, someone who will use the decreed word, someone who will position themselves, someone who activates jurisdiction. That someone is you, chosen one. Have you noticed that you have always been the different one in your family? The one who prays in secret, who dreams things others don't dream, who senses things before they happen, who carries a spiritual sensitivity that other relatives mock or don't understand. This is not by chance, it is a mark. You were set apart even before your birth to be your lineage's advocate. While others sleep, you intercede. While others close their eyes to the spiritual, you see. That inner voice that screams when you see the family repeating old patterns is your calling manifesting. It is the inheritance recognizing you as the rightful owner. Many chosen ones have felt in recent months a physical pressure in their chest at specific moments, during prayer, during worship, while reading a scripture. Do not confuse it with heart problems. Always seek medical attention. But this feeling of weight is the activation of your armor. Michael is literally clothing you with the spiritual lawyer's suit, fitting the armor of righteousness over your chest, because the lawyer needs to enter the court protected, without gaps. And many have also reported a strange sensitivity in their hands, tingling, warmth, a sensation of energy leaving their fingers when praying. This is your seal manifesting. The hands of the spiritual lawyer carry authority to impose limits, cast out presences, seal homes, and protect heads. Laying hands on children as they sleep, on your spouse before they leave, on the door of the house before going to bed. This is not ritual, it is jurisdiction. It is the lawyer taking possession of your territory. And every time you decree in the name of Jesus with the authority Michael gives you, a heavenly decree is issued, an accusation is nullified, and a portion of your inheritance is returned. And now I need to tell you a hard truth, chosen one. As long as you don't know how to do this, as long as you don't know the rules of the court, as long as you don't have the map of the protocols, the enemy continues to take advantage of your ignorance. The Bible says that the Lord's people perish for lack of knowledge. As long as the lawyer doesn't know he's a lawyer, the defendant keeps getting convicted. And that's precisely why Chosen One, the digital book manual of the chosen ones by God to protect the family, exists. It is the direct answer to this war for knowledge. It places in your hands, in a practical and orderly way, the information that institutional religion often hides, that false teachers distort, and that the enemy tries at all costs to keep away from your consciousness. This digital book teaches you how to recognize the accusations that are blocking your spiritual and material inheritance. It shows you the exact decrees to invoke the Archangel Michael as your household's advocate. It gives you the sealing protocols over each door, each child, each financial matter of your family. And it teaches you how to maintain the spiritual jurisdiction conquered. Because it's not enough to expel the intruder, you need to know how to lock the door and change the locks. This digital book was made for those who have already understood that family is not a human project. It is a spiritual territory that needs an advocate, defense, and divine seal. If you've come this far, it's because you were guided. And the link is in the first comment pinned at the top. I need to warn you one more time. This content challenges comfortable religious structures that prefer the chosen ones to remain passive. They have tried to remove it. They have tried to sabotage it. It could be taken down at any moment. Download it now, Chosen One, and leave your public seal below. I am chosen and I will download the digital book. Every time a chosen one makes this decree, Michael records it in the heavenly court, and a portion of your inheritance is released. Now that you have made this public commitment, Chosen One, a new layer of revelation opens, and what I'm about to tell you now, few speak about openly, because it is a truth that exposes too much the game that has been played against your lineage for generations. There is a thing called the intercessory lineage. In each family, not in all families, but in those marked by God to carry purpose in the kingdom, there is one person per generation who is chosen to be the spiritual advocate. A son or daughter who receives a double portion of sensitivity, an ability to perceive the invisible, and a responsibility to stand before God for the family. Michael operates alongside these intercessors. He is the prince designated for those who have been sealed as human advocates for the chosen lineages. Have you noticed that it was always you who carried the weight? That it was always you who took care of everyone? That it was always you who couldn't fail? That even when no one asked, you were already praying for siblings, parents, children, even distant relatives who perhaps didn't even know someone was interceding for them? This is your calling. You are the intercessor of your generation. And Michael is manifesting now precisely because your generation is at a critical point, the moment when either the advocate awakens and claims the inheritance, or the enemy advances another generation and destroys what little remains. It's not dramatic. It's the naked truth of the invisible war being waged around your family. And there are signs that confirm you are the advocate intercessor of your lineage. Pay close attention. First sign, you feel compassion for people whom others condemn. You look at a family member sunk in addiction, in a broken marriage, in endless debt, and you feel sincere pain for their soul, even when reason says they deserve what they are reaping. This is the heart of the advocate beating within you. Spiritual advocates feel for those who cannot defend themselves. Second sign, you often dream of family members. Vivid dreams, almost spiritual reunions, where you are talking to them, praying for them, intervening in their situations. It's not just your mind processing the day. These are often spiritual hearings, where you are taken in spirit to advocate for that person while they sleep unaware. Third sign, you receive spontaneous burdens. Suddenly, out of nowhere, you feel an urgency to pray for a specific person, for no rational reason. Without that person having asked for anything, you simply must pray at that moment. This is the heavenly court summoning you. You are the registered lawyer for that soul, and at that moment an accusation is being brought against them, and you are called to object immediately. Fourth sign, you have an incredible difficulty accepting injustice. Seeing someone suffer for no reason, seeing a child mistreated, seeing a person slandered, it destroys you from the inside, because the lawyer's soul is made of justice. You cannot coexist with injustice because you were designed to oppose it in the spiritual courts. And if you recognize yourself in 3 of these 4 signs, chosen one, you need to understand one thing. You are officially an appointed lawyer of the heavenly court. Michael is your heavenly partner, and the inheritance that has been held back from your family, an inheritance of peace, of prosperity, of health, of restored marriages, of children on God's path, of dreams that have been paralyzed for decades, this inheritance is about to be released. But it needs your active participation as a conscious lawyer, not as a spectator, not as a passive believer, as a jurist of the court of the Most High. Now let's talk about something practical. Many chosen ones ask me, how do I know if I am actually practicing this advocacy? How do I know if Michael is acting with me? There are concrete manifestations that appear in your life when the practice truly begins. The first is, when you begin to consciously practice this advocacy, situations that seemed eternal begin to resolve inexplicably. That rebellious child suddenly wakes up different. That old debt suddenly finds a solution out of nowhere. That family conflict that lasted for decades dissolves in a conversation. These are not coincidences. It is accusation being cancelled in chains. It is inheritance being released in bulk. Second manifestation, you begin to have absurd spiritual clarity. You know that mental confusion that the enemy installs to paralyze you. It goes away. You begin to read the Word and understand things you never understood before. Old passages take on new dimensions. You begin to perceive spiritual traps before they materialize. Michael, as the executor of heavenly justice, illuminates your discernment and sharpens your perception. Third manifestation, the attacks change in quality. This is important to understand, chosen one. When you officially assume the position of lawyer, the enemy does not give up. He changes strategy. Before, he attacked you with doubt, with small temptations, with demotivation. Now he will try to intimidate you. He will send more elaborate attacks, bad dreams, sensations of physical oppression, slander from people close to you, attempts to destabilize your emotions through those near you. It is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign that you have hit the enemy. A lawyer who bothers is a lawyer who wins cases. If the attack has increased after you have awakened, it is because you have touched where it hurts. Fourth manifestation. Other people spontaneously start seeking you out for prayer, counsel, spiritual help. This is invisible recognition. Your mark begins to be seen in the spirit. People don't know why they feel drawn to ask for your help, but their spirits recognize that you have a voice in the heavenly tribunal. And this is further confirmation that Michael recognizes you as a partner in mission. But I need to tell you something very serious now, chosen one. There is a specific window of activation, and we are within that window now. It is not just any time. Michael is making this massive manifestation precisely because we are in a prophetic time that most people do not realize. Humanity is on a spiritual border crossing. We are entering a period where activations that are not done now will be held back for much longer. And while the chosen ones do not awaken, the enemy advances on their homes, their finances, their families, with no real opposition. Have you ever felt that time is passing differently? That the days seem denser? That spiritual things are closer, more palpable, louder? It's not your imagination, it's the veil thinning. And the Archangel Michael is on the other side, waiting for the human lawyers who will wield the sword of the word in favor of their lineages. He has the list. He knows every name. And he is already in possession of the scrolls that need to be delivered. There is a final truth that needs to be told before I make you the definitive invitation. You were not chosen because you are holier. You were not chosen because you deserve more. You were chosen by the sovereign grace of God and by the specific purpose of your calling. God, in his eternal sovereignty, marked some souls before the foundation of the world to occupy specific positions within the great final battle. It's not spiritual elitism, it's service, it's responsibility. It's carrying your family on your shoulders before the throne so that the entire lineage can be saved. A lawyer does not work for himself. A lawyer works for the client. And your family, all of them, with their flaws and all, with their mistakes and all, with their stories and all, is your client. And Michael gives you the authority. Michael hands you the documents. Michael executes the sentences. But you need to be in the room. You need to show up. You need to know how to speak the language of the court. You need to know the precedents, the seals, the decrees, the protocols. And it is here, chosen one, that many of those whom God has chosen fail. Not for lack of will, not for lack of faith, for lack of practical instruction. No one explained the rules of this court to you. No one showed you the exact protocols. No one taught you how to behave as the spiritual advocate of your household. You have the access card, but you don't know how to enter. You have the title, but you don't know how to exercise it. And in the meantime, your inheritance remains held back in heaven, waiting for you to learn how to claim it. That is why, chosen one, God led me to prepare the digital book manual for the chosen by God to protect the family. This digital book is literally the instruction manual for the spiritual advocate of your lineage. It gives you the rules of the heavenly court. It teaches you the protocols for invoking the Archangel Michael. It shows you how to decree over every area of your family's life with legitimate authority. It teaches you how to break accusations that have been inherited from past generations and that are still weighing on your descendants. And it provides you with continuous protection seals so that what has been conquered in the spirit is no longer stolen, no longer diverted, no longer withheld. This digital book is not for the curious. It is not for those who want fleeting emotion. It is for those who have already understood that the family needs real, continuous, legal, and effective spiritual defense. It shows you step by step how to identify what is blocking your inheritance, how to act as the registered advocate of your household, how to keep Michael's sword active over your territory, and how to train your children so that they too can take on your calling when it's time for you to pass the baton to the next generation of the intercessory lineage. The link is in the first comment pinned at the top, but I'll repeat it for you, chosen one, and pay close attention now. This knowledge is fought against. It exposes the game too much. It empowers the children of God too much. It puts too much sword in the hand of the human lawyer. It has already suffered censorship attempts, and at any moment it can be taken down. Don't put it off. The right time is now, because you didn't get here by accident. It was Michael who led you to this text. It was your inheritance calling you back home. Download the digital book now, and before you even leave this page, leave your public seal of commitment below. I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. This decree, made in writing, has real value in the heavenly court. Michael records it. The inheritance begins to be released, and from today, chosen one, your family is no longer alone in the invisible war, because the lawyer has awakened, the lawyer has taken his position, the lawyer has in hand the manual. The battle has begun. The inheritance awaits you, and the Archangel Michael and the great prince of the celestial armies, the executor of the Most High's sentences, the celestial partner of every human lawyer marked since before the foundation of the world, is now wielding the sword on behalf of your house, waiting only for your decree. You have been marked. You have been set apart. You are a lawyer. And today, chosen one, You take possession of what has always been yours by divine right. The seal has been broken, the inheritance is released, and the sword is in your hands.